Stop! Before you think you are crazy, yes, your dog's paws do smell like popcorn. Here is the shocking reason why. You see them every day, but how much do you really know about your fur baby? Welcome to Dr.DogPedia. Today, we are decoding 7 mind-blowing facts hidden inside your dog's body. From seeing in the dark with Whiskers to reading social media on a fire hydrant. Get ready to see your pup as a true superhero. Why paws smell like popcorn. Have you ever leaned in to give your dog a belly rub, caught a whiff of their paws, and suddenly felt hungry? It sounds bizarre, but countless dog owners swear that their pets' feet smell exactly like corn chips or popcorn. If you have ever thought you were imagining things, you are definitely not alone. This phenomenon is so common that it actually has a nickname in the veterinary world: Frito Feet. It sounds funny, but there is a fascinating biological reason behind it. Unlike humans, who sweat from everywhere, dogs only produce sweat through the pads of their feet. It is their primary cooling mechanism, but it also creates a moist, warm environment tucked between their toes. Now, here is the science part that validates what you are smelling. That distinct aroma comes from 2 specific types of bacteria, Pseudomonas and Proteus. These microscopic tenants live naturally on your dog's skin, thriving in the damp crevices of their paws. When these bacteria mingle with your dog's sweat, they produce a yeast-like, earthy odor that our brains interpret as salty snacks. I honestly used to think my dog had just walked through the kitchen pantry, but knowing it is just natural biology makes it a lot less worrying. Though, maybe a little less appetizing. It is perfectly normal and usually healthy, provided there is no redness or swelling. But if you think having snack-scented feet is the strangest thing about your dog, wait until you hear what they are actually saying when they open their mouth to yawn. Deciphering the secret language of yawns. Most of us see a yawn and immediately think, oh look, the puppy is sleepy. But have you ever noticed your dog yawning right after you scolded them for chewing a slipper? It turns out you might be completely misinterpreting their body language. In the human world, a yawn is a sign of fatigue or boredom. But in the canine world, it is a sophisticated communication tool known as a calming signal. This is a crucial distinction that many owners miss. When a dog yawns in a tense situation, like when they meet a strange dog or when you are visibly upset with them, they aren't tired, they are stressed. Experts in animal behavior explain that this specific type of yawn is a peace offering. They are literally saying, "I feel tense, please calm down," or signaling to you, "I am not a threat. I don't want to fight." It really changes how you look at those moments of discipline, doesn't it? I remember getting frustrated when my dog would yawn while I was trying to teach a command, thinking he was bored, when in reality, I was probably putting too much pressure on him. Recognizing this can completely transform your relationship with your pet, allowing you to de-escalate stress instead of adding to it. But while yawns are a subtle, quiet signal, your dog has another way of communicating that is much louder, messier, and essentially serves as the internet for canines. Social media through urine marking. We tend to think of social media as a modern human invention, but dogs have been scrolling through their own newsfeed for thousands of years. They just use fire hydrants and tree trunks instead of smartphones. When you take your dog for a walk and they stop to sniff a specific spot for what feels like an eternity, they aren't just wasting time. They are reading the neighborhood news. Urine is surprisingly complex. It is loaded with hormones and pheromones that tell a detailed story about the animal that left it. It is not just waste, it is biodata. Scientific observation confirms that a single scent mark can reveal the previous dog's gender, whether a female is in heat, their current health status, and even their social ranking in the pack. It is incredible to think about the level of detail they can extract just by sniffing. And when your dog decides to lift their leg and mark over that spot, that is the equivalent of hitting the like button or leaving a comment that says, "I was here, and I'm top dog." It is a vital social interaction, a way to check in and update their status in the local community. So next time you are impatient on a walk, remember, they are just catching up on the gossip. It is a complex identification system, sure. But did you know your dog carries an even more secure physical ID right on their face that is as unique as a human fingerprint? Nose prints are unique identifiers. If you have ever unlocked your phone with your fingerprint, you know how secure biometric data can be. Well, nature gave dogs their own version of this technology long before we invented scanners. You might think all wet, boopable noses look the same, but that is far from the truth. The intricate pattern of ridges, creases, and texture on a dog's nose is absolutely unique to every single individual. No two dogs have the same nose print, just like no two humans have the same fingerprint. This isn't just a fun piece of trivia, it has real-world applications. In fact, there are identification systems already in use that rely on nose prints to identify lost dogs, offering a non-invasive alternative to microchipping or tattooing. It is amazing to consider that the cute little nose you wake up to every morning is actually a one-of-a-kind biological signature. I always find it reassuring to know that nature has made them so distinct. But while their nose is a passive identifier, the hair growing around their muzzle is an active, high-tech instrument that gives them a superpower straight out of a superhero movie. Whiskers that see in the dark. We often look at whiskers as just cute, stiff hairs that tickle us when we get a kiss, but they are actually sophisticated radar systems. Imagine being able to see the world without even opening your eyes. That is essentially what whiskers allow dogs to do. These aren't just ordinary hairs. The follicles at the base of each whisker are packed with sensitive nerve endings that send lightning-fast signals to the brain. They act like high-sensitive antennas, but instead of radio waves, they pick up on subtle changes in air currents. Here is where it gets really cool. Because they can feel the air moving around objects, a dog can determine the size, shape, and even the speed of something nearby without ever touching it or seeing it. This allows them to navigate pitch-black rooms or dense underbrush without bumping into walls or hurting their eyes. It is basically night vision, but through touch and airflow. I sometimes watch my dog run through a dark hallway and wonder how he doesn't crash, but now I know he is feeling his way through the air. They can navigate the dark with ease, but when it comes to the simple act of doing their business in broad daylight, they feel the need to consult the planet itself, aligning with Earth to poop. Okay, let's talk about one of the most puzzling behaviors every dog owner witnesses. You take them out, you are in a rush, but they insist on spinning in circles, seemingly unable to find the perfect spot. It can be frustrating, but they aren't just being picky. They are actually calibrating themselves with the Earth's magnetic field. It sounds like science fiction, but researchers have discovered that dogs have an innate sensitivity to magnetism, and they prefer to align their bodies along the north-south axis when they relieve themselves. This behavior highlights just how connected they are to the natural world in ways we are completely numb to. They are literally living compasses. When they spin, they are checking their internal GPS to find that magnetic sweet spot where they feel most comfortable and safe. It makes you realize that their world is filled with invisible forces we can't even perceive. Next time they are spinning, just remember they are doing some serious geomagnetic calculations. But while they can sense the magnetic field, their most mind-bending sense allows them to perceive something we think of as purely abstract: the passage of time. The ability to smell time. We rely on clocks, phones, and alarms to track our day. Dogs? They rely on their nose. This is perhaps the most poetic and profound ability they possess. Dogs can literally smell time. It sounds impossible, but here is the logic. Every environment has an odor profile. As the day goes on, heat causes smells to rise, and air currents cause them to dissipate. The concentration of odor molecules changes constantly. A strong smell indicates the now, or the recent past, while a faint, weak smell represents the deeper past. By analyzing the decay of your scent in the house, your dog can calculate exactly how long you have been gone. They know that when your scent drops to a specific level of faintness, it is usually the time you walk through the door. They aren't just guessing. They are reading the timeline of the room through their nose. It explains why they are waiting by the window 10 minutes before you arrive. Not because they are psychic, but because the air tells them you are due. It is a beautiful reminder of how attuned they are to us, tracking our existence through the invisible traces we leave behind. It truly proves that their devotion goes beyond just love. It is woven into their very senses. So the next time your dog spins in circles, just remember, they are aligning with the Earth's magnetic field. Which Dr.DogPedia fact surprised you the most? The time-traveling nose or the popcorn feet? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to Dr. DogPedia for more secrets about your best friend. See you next time!